All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. This is your boy, your host with the most, Live Wire itself. So, when it comes down to the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese situation, a lot of people just trying to jump on that conversation and trying to say Caitlin Clark was not popular due to Angel Reese viral moment. Said that made Caitlin Clark. But see, this is the thing about it is when they say that, you can pretty much tell they never watched Caitlin Clark until that tournament. They never watched her the whole season until the NCAA tournament 2 years prior. And then they try to say that, hey, yeah, we all know Caitlin Clark is a trash talker. We already know that. We already know she's a trash talker. But Haley Van Lith already nuked that you can't see me thing. So Angel Reese, as the piggyback person she did, she gained her viral moment by doing that to Caitlin Clark because they beat the Iowa in the national championship. But see, then next year, when Caitlin Clark beat her, she didn't have nothing to say. She got up on the podium, cry, talk about people sexualize her and all of this stuff. But then you were so big and bad the year before because you beat her in the championship and you said, oh, you were following her around, you were stalking her around, all in her face, taunting her, and then say, "Oh well, what they gonna say now?" Caitlin Clark, But see, Joy Taylor, just like the rest of the other pundits, they don't understand this because they never watched it. See, Joy Taylor been so busy covering NFL football, she just jumped on the train too of women's basketball. How do I know? Well, let's listen to her and then you get all the information that you need from that. Now, you saw that, right? They didn't even agree with that. They did not even agree with that. And a lot of people run with that. A lot of people run with that and say, oh, well, we wouldn't be talking about Caitlin Clark if it wasn't for Angel Reese. We're trying to big up Angel Reese to be better than Caitlin Clark when we know Angel Reese does not have the skill set. She might be 6'3", 6'2", whatever. Yeah, she could rebound. But she can't do the things. Now she wants to try to now stop doing the things because she has a coach over there that's trying to implement her as that small forward, trying to be like the Satu Sabli AT type of version. But she don't have no handles like that. You know what I'm saying? She don't have handles like that. And the thing about it is, everybody on that panel kind of looked at her and say, and she was like, she thought everybody was going to feed into that and that narrative and say, oh, yeah, you right. Nah, nobody believes that because they watched her. They watched Caitlin Clark. They watched her. So let me read something for y'all real quick, just in case some of y'all out there don't know, because you got Angel Reese podcasters thinking the same thing because they never watched Caitlin Clark. They only watch Angel Reese. They don't even hardly know who Paige Beckers is because they haven't watched Paige Beckers either. They haven't watched pretty much Haley Van Lith until Haley Van Lith got with LSU. This is how I know. Now they all switching from Angel Reese now because Juju's there. Now they all jumping on Juju. They wasn't even paying attention to Juju for the last 2 seasons. While when it was Caitlin and all of them and Paige and them all in college at that time, they wasn't paying attention to Juju. They wasn't paying attention to Laura Betts. But now they all turn their attention to Juju because they want somebody to be better than Caitlyn. When it comes down to popularity, attendance, record sales, I'm about to say record sales. Only if Caitlyn was making music, then we would call her the Michael Jackson of the WNBA. They don't understand that. Tennis went down 53% when Caitlyn was out for 2 weeks. Soon as she came back, skyrocket up. You look at all the Angel Reese games, and even if the team was playing good, they sales wouldn't have been good. They can't even hold nobody in the stands. They have talent on their team, and they can't even win. Even though the Indiana Fever is struggling, people still show up to the games because they want to see that superstar. That superstar. They play the Vegas Aces. They didn't want to see Angel Wilson. They want to see Caitlin Clark. Even though Caitlin Clark had a bad game, but people still go to see Caitlin Clark. You know why? Because Caitlin Clark is going to be electrifying. She's going to stand out. That's what makes it all about. That stuff with Joy Taylor talking about is nonsense. And she says the same thing when she was on Speak with Shady McCoy, and they had to shut her down. Shady McCoy still talk about her. Everybody's talking about Caitlin Clark. You can't deny this girl gravity and this girl game just to big up somebody because they what? Black? It's all right that Angel Reese is not better than her. That don't make Angel Reese a bad person. She just capitalized on the piggyback trail because she knew Caitlin Clark was the high idol. If Caitlin Clark wasn't who she said she was in that championship, or just a regular person, Angel Reese wouldn't have been doing all of that. She was just won the championship and went on her way. But because Caitlin Clark was that girl, Caitlin Clark was breaking records in college. She broke scoring records, assist records. Her name was all over the place. Everybody wanted to know who was this girl from Iowa. They wasn't checking for her. She made her moment. Because guess what? If Caitlin Clark had beat her in the national championship that year, what would she say? What would she say? She didn't have nothing to say. So check this out. So evidence suggesting pre-existing popularity. Record-breaking junior year. Caitlin Clark record-breaking performance in her junior year indicates a rising trajectory and popularity before the viral moment with Reese. Media coverage. There are suggestions that sports media outlets like ESPN were already increasing coverage of women's college basketball, proving a platform for Clark to gain national attention. Engagement with fans. Her willingness to interact excuse me, her willingness to interact with and thank fans suggests she's already captivating a following. Exactly. Because she's humble, she's modest, she doesn't ruffle feathers, she just goes out there and play the game, but she's a competitor. Box office appeal. Articles from prior to the WNBA draft describe her as having immediate box office appeal and being the must-see TV player due to her explosive plays and offensive capability. Now, it says the impact of Angel Reese incident elevate national national conversation. That's why everybody think that Caitlin Clark started rising became that because of that incident. But like I said, if you haven't watched her before, you wouldn't know who she was. Because if you was just following Angel Reese, you know what I'm saying? I from Maryland to LSU, I told Caitlin in the last part of her sophomore year going into her junior year. That's when I started following her. I wanted to know. I liked her. I was calling this. I was already calling her the Steph Curry of college basketball at that time. So it says the highly publicized moment with Angel Reese during the NCAA championship game likely played a significant role in bringing even more attention to her and the sport. Increasing viewerships. The final game of the tournament was the most viewed WNCAA women's tournament basketball game on record, attracting considerable attention. The conclusion of this all, while the Angel Reese fag away certainly amplify Caitlin Clark's stardom, I don't think that it was, and contribute to her mainstream recognition, I don't think that was either. There's evidence suggesting she was already a significant and rising force in women's basketball before that moment. Her record-breaking plays and exiting media visibility positioned her to be a box office player with, even without the viral moment. Exactly. So to sit here and say, to sit here and say that, oh, that incident catapult Caitlin Clark, no, she was already that, because she would have came into the W anyway with that same kind of gravity. Angel Reese didn't have nothing going for herself, so she pretty much tagged herself to that title, to Caitlin Clark, and she still does it to this day in the W. She's on a bad team. Caitlin's on a okay team. Caitlin's team is better than hers. Caitlin has beat her what? In the W, she has beat her what, 5 times to one? So now we're only gonna make it significant. Which one's gonna win the title first? And I'm not talking about in, I'm not talking about in Unrivaled either. I'm talking about in the WNBA. So, Joe Taylor, when you talk, nobody listens, man. You just pretty much who we thought you was, because you just try to have a moment. You just trying to create your viral moment because you what you saying, and nobody on Joe Budden's podcast is buying it. So, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Until the next episode, you know what it is, because if you don't know, now you know. Live Rock Sports, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.